twice in my career.
The Carnegies and the Rockefellers hijacked the medical system.
Skin is our biggest organ, so we have to treat it really well.
There is no point fixing your lips or your bone structure if you've got inflammatory acne on your skin.
Ease off on the word biohacking. Word biohacking is something super trendy, and the customized perspective about biohacking is individualized treatment.
We had to completely collapse the old system and create a new system.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Zenos Tables. Today we are going to be talking about biohacking, the human operating system. I have three very lovely guests with me today. Dr. Leigh Erin Connealy, global leader in integrative functional and precision medicine. Dr. Vali, dual board certified dermatologist and regenerative aesthetic pioneer. And Dr. Adam, dermatologist and clinical innovator exploring skin. And I am your host, Ryan Guy, and I really want to get right into it. We've only got a little bit of time. So, all right, Dr. Vali, I want to open up the questions for you. You bridge medicine, art, and beauty. When did you realize that skin could be a diagnostic map of inner health?
So I've always practiced in a 360 manner, inside out. We're always looking at the inside because a lot of disease are inflammation based. So when we have inflammatory acne, rosacea, pigmentation, fine lines and wrinkles, all these things are inflammatory based. So I had to look on the inside before I treat you on the outside. So that's when it came to me that, okay, let's literally assess mood, gut, all the other sleep, performance, concentration, fertility, immune system, as well as fixing on the outside.
Amazing. And what moment first made you believe the human body could actually be hacked? Let me open it up to you.
What moment do we believe that the body could be hacked?
Yes. Is there a transformative moment in your career?
Yes. Okay, yeah. I get the question now. I think since starting the practice of medicine as a whole and aesthetic dermatology specifically, I realized that healing cannot happen from the outside, just like Dr. Vali said. It's definitely, you have to harbor the energy from the inside and the healing from the inside, so it reflects on the face and the skin as a whole. The skin is our biggest organ, so we have to treat it really well and we have to nourish it really, really well. So I don't think there's a specific moment or a milestone. I think this is a buildup of science and art and technology and innovation, and that's why we're in Zenos.
So you both have kind of had the lens of working on the inner self before the external, and I love that.
It's a reflective notion.
Absolutely. Dr. Connealy, what's your answer?
Well, I was trained in conventional medicine, and conventional medicine is just one disease, one drug, one cause. And the body, the miracle that we live in, is way more complicated than that. Unfortunately, in medical school, you're not trained in this biohacking, which is really the original form of medicine if you look at things 100 years ago. So we're just like, the conventional medicine is really the alternative medicine, but the ancient medicine is really the real medicine. And so I learned early on because I faced, my own challenges. And so when you learn from a book, that's one thing, but when you have to live it yourself, you have to hack yourself. And so you've got to dig deep and look at all possibilities, and not just in the U.S., but all over the world.
Is there a moment when you realized that there was an ultimate biohack in your career and your lifestyle from your work, either people that you've worked with personally or for your personal
in my personal
health,
life?
Your personal health,
so in my personal life, I've burnt out twice in my career. So then I started looking at alternative things in terms of biohacking. What can I do if I'm burning out? And that means a lot of other people are burning out too. And I've always said this, we're living very fast lives at the moment. We're multi-hyphenates, we've got so much pressure on ourselves more than ever. So that cortisol overdrive was something I looked into personally myself, because the last thing I wanted to do was be on more medication. And that's when I looked at alternative things for biohacking. And even today, I injected my peptides before I came in so that could be on performance. So yeah, I'm really excited about what we're doing at the moment in terms of medicine, because I think we're pushing medicine's boundaries, right?
Absolutely. I think it's what one of you just said is that you're not taught how to biohack in your practice from your training and in school. But I can tell you, every single conversation that I've sat down with experts all over the world, the conversation that we are having, everything starts from within. And I think it's really, really important that we are having these conversations where we're sharing with the world that it's not about the external. Really, biohacking is starting from within. So what a beautiful way to get the word out to people that you don't need all the expensive tools and everything to start to live a better life, right?
But I also think our patients have driven us to inquire and learn better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
absolutely.
So I think it's come from our patients. It's not come from our peers or anything like that. And then we find colleagues that actually have the same mindset, same clinical presentation. We talk to each other. It's our patients that are pushing us to do better, right?
To
That's
improve.
right.
Yeah.
And Dr. Adam, as a dermatologist, when do you begin to see your work not just treating the surface and really optimizing the system beneath?
Of course. I think being a board-certified physician, my ethos is do no harm at first, but I add a little bit of a spin to that by if I can put on a smile, increase the confidence of my client, my patient, because we have to remember anything we do is a medical procedure with a medical entity and a medical side effect. So, if I'm doing no harm and I can increase the confidence and the energy boost or whatever you want to call that, a little step in their, an extra step in their walk, that's where I start to see my work immediately. From the moment they walk in, the comfort level, getting on a treatment plan and seeing that trajectory go well beyond the surface of the skin.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And Dr. Connealy, you look at hundreds of biomarkers every single week. Which one do you wish every patient understood?
Well, there's a couple of them, but it's hard to reduce.
Give us a couple of them.
I
then.
would think at least two, and that would be the C-reactive protein, which is the non-specific marker for inflammation.
And break that down a little
Yeah,
bit for
so
us.
inflammation is the precursor, Dr. Vali mentioned this earlier, of all diseases, okay? So if there's inflammation in the body, it's not happy. So inflammation must be addressed, and most doctors don't even order C-reactive protein. So C-reactive protein should be about 0.5. And even the lab values say it's 1 to 3. So, but you should be about 0.5. Now, the other big aging marker of your cells, because it's all about the cells living in a universe, is the hemoglobin A1C. So the hemoglobin A1C is a reflection of your sugar over 90 days, but more importantly, it's a marker of aging. So the cell's actually aging. And so the higher your hemoglobin A1C, the faster you're aging.
Amazing. Dr. Vali, is there a risk that optimizing culture turns beauty into biology without emotion? I know we've spoken before about keeping your aesthetic, cultural ethnicity alive and really beautifying that and enhancing that. And I kind of want to talk, I know you're very passionate about this. So
I think it's a key thing, and especially with the pressures on the younger generation in terms of social media. And then coming in, can you make me look like this? Can you make me look like this? But the pictures have been photoshopped with all the apps. I think as physicians and as consultants and specialists, it is our duty of care to educate the patient, inform them. And I love it when I change a patient's mind. I love it when I re-educate and change a patient's mind. There is no point fixing your lips or your bone structure if you've got inflammatory acne on your skin. Let's give you perfect skin first. Your confidence will come up and you won't even look at this rubbish. Mm-hmm. So the other key thing is you don't want to homogenize ethnicities, and you want to respect the gift that your family's given you. You've got, your nose is a little bit big, but it's from your family. Why do you want to take it away? Or there's a beauty spot, leave it there. It's from your mum, or the dimple you've got. So for me, it's really respecting the bone structure, number one, and then also saying you don't want to walk in a room where you look like everyone else. You want to maintain your identity and your uniqueness.
Isn't it such a crazy concept? We have the Instagram face fad right now, and everyone wants to look the same. And as you mentioned, we pull up pictures of like this girl right here. It's been face-apped. It's maybe not even a real person. It could be AI.
But then I also say this. I was like, listen, if I can make you look like that, I'd make myself look like that. Right? That's the first thing I do.
But I haven't, yes.
Yeah.
But I think that trend is, like any other trend, is it's fading away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone now, it's the pendulum is going back to a natural, more approach, and that everything like that has to end. And like Dr. Val was saying, it's definitely important to be able to respect our cultural perspective and where we came from, and realize that in differences lies the beauty, not in homogenizing people.
So sitting at this table, I have so many beautiful faces right here.
Thank
from
you.
very different
Thank you.
backgrounds. And I want to talk about biohacking from a cultural perspective and what the difference is here.
Let's just ease off on the word biohacking, right?
Yes.
The word biohacking is something super trendy and whatever.
Sure.
You know, the customized perspective about biohacking is individualized treatment. It's tailored, bespoke treatment. We're moving away from this notion of one size fits all to one size doesn't fit all. It's a bespoke treatment that's tailored for you, that's tailored for your health span, tailored for your ethnic background and what you're suffering from at the moment. Dr. Vali initially pointed on the fact that a lot of the clients or the patients come to our clinics and they're suffering from acne and problems with their skin, but they're willing to do aesthetic treatments. We're trying to gear them. You know, I am of a certain generation that I was able to straddle both social media and not being on social media. So I still remember the days where you had to rely on your true face before doing that. That's what I want to continue to propagate now in this notion. My colleague, she practices in California. This is where the epicenter or the mecca of this shenanigans came from. And then
Is it Silicon Valley, right?
it is.
It
It
was
is
Silicon
Silicon
Valley,
Valley,
yes.
you know.
Like the Silicon
and then we
Valley
have
giants.
a beautiful industry leader, Dr. Vali from London, who is also in a different world, you know, different. They have the Indo-Pak Desi Society, who's infiltrated a lot, given, you know, a lot of notions to a lot of different things. So I want to give it up to you and realize that, you know, what does biohacking mean to you?
So yeah, for me,
Yeah, because
it's
we've
exactly
heard
what
that a
you said.
lot. You know, we just got to make sure it's tailored.
It's a really trendy word.
Yeah.
It is, it
Biohacking.
is.
It's very marketable as well. Biohacking to me, I've always said this, it's using your cells to fix you. It's individualized, it's personalized, it's simple things that you do. You're all biohackers here. Some of you are wearing Oura rings, Whoop trackers, you're doing infrared sauna, Wim Hof breathing, ice baths, you're doing that at home. So biohacking is using your cells to fix you, and there's different levels. And then also it's an adjunct to traditional medicine. So it's not going to replace traditional medicine, it's just an adjunct. And the reason why it's had resurgence right now is because post-COVID, patients took autonomy in their health. They were so much more passionate about health and wellness than pre-COVID. So there was a paradigm shift after COVID where the patients were like, yeah, freshen me up, but actually I'm feeling run down. Is there anything you can do for me? I feel fatigue. I've got general malaise. I've got brain fog. So I think it's post-COVID that we've had this great health awareness.
That's true. I think because I've been doing this for 39 years, and so there's been a small segment of the population. People think that you automatically wake up and function and have health, but you don't. It isn't an intention and an execution of events, and every decision you make is a healthcare decision. And now that we are so chronically ill in the United States, the CDC reports that 78% of people have chronic illnesses, okay? Now, we tend to set the trends for the rest of the world. Like, for example, medications have been around for about 100 years, okay, because the Carnegies and the Rockefellers hijacked the medical system into
Ooh, this is getting spicy.
What?
I love it.
Well, that's
medical
exactly
system.
what's happened.
It's a
I'm
true
happy
event.
that you're able
Literally,
to do
because
that.
all doctors were naturopaths. They were all homeopaths. They were churning things
Yeah.
like like when we saw the herbs at the dinner the other night, the guy was churning the different herbs
Yeah.
for the black seed, et
course.
cetera. Okay, that's what they did. Okay, and then the Rockefellers and Carnegies, very wealthy people, decided, oh, we can patent medicine. We can isolate something from nature and patent it and make billions of dollars. So now we have a legal drug cartel, okay,
Yeah.
in the United States.
Keep coming.
And every country now wants to be like America. Now America's woken up, okay? You said COVID, yes, because they don't trust their doctor now,
Yeah.
okay? They don't trust their recommendations. Medications are either the first or third leading cause of death, depending on who you read, okay? I would say it's probably the first. It's medications and or errors, okay? And it is pervasive in every aspect of our
Yeah.
society. Pervasive, everything, everywhere you read periodicals, newspapers, TV, people on Instagram even, peptides, for example. There's no quick fix to lose weight.
But
Okay, there isn't.
in terms of traditional medicine, and this is where the danger lies, there's no regulation and compliance in the biohacking industry or the longevity industry. And I'm a practitioner as well. And the problem I have is when you have non-traditionally trained doctors, there's no traditional training in it, right? So I've had cases where patients are literally doing IV ozone, sitting in a hyperbaric chamber, taking 16 to 20 supplements a day, and they get misdiagnosed. They think they had dysfunctional gut dysbiosis.
Right.
They've got colon cancer.
Right.
Correct.
And that is heartbreaking because in an ideal scenario, I would rather they had their practicing physician partnered with a biohacker.
Yes. I don't.
That is a good, and it was interesting at lunchtime. I was talking to people who are non-medical, and that they want to work and create documentaries, but they want to validate it with scientific evidence. Okay, but as you know, the randomized double-blind clinical trials, over 50% have a hidden agenda and are not true. Okay, in the United States. Okay, so we're all in of one.
Doc,
Okay.
I don't disagree with you at all about what you said. But the thing that I agree with you the most is that a lot of our data and a lot of our institutionalized studies are coming from a place with the least healthy population. We have failed our institution. We have failed our people.
Yes.
I don't really ever get a complaint about a grandma in our traditional history, from my Middle Eastern background to your Indo-Pak perspective to your probably, we don't do that. We need to lean back into the traditional perspective and realize that what Dr. Val was saying is the collaborative effort with traditional medicine is the way to go. I'm no longer interested in having, interested in having anything that comes out from the States anymore.
I'm curious I'm curious how we as a society regain trust in our medical system.
Look outside. Look outside the system. We've given the States the pillar of being the best in the world and things like
the best in the world.
But the best
and
of
it isn't.
technologies are coming not from there. They're coming from the East. The resurgence of why we are today in Saudi Arabia is because we want to lean into this perspective, whether it's from the Levant, even though I learned recently that you should not say the Levant because it's not, it's a colonizing perspective, but you should lean back into our grandmas, you should lean back into traditional medicine, you should lean back into what really feels good for you with the help of the doctors to make sure that it's not.
I also, you touched on something, Adam. I also think, there's a reason why people are looking into the blue zones.
Yes, the blue zones.
They're looking into the blue zones. And where are these blue zones? They're not in first world countries.
They're not.
No.
It's not the UK. It's not America.
Yeah.
And we have to go back and look at what they're doing. Can we incorporate it? We're exposed to so much in terms of our environment. And, I live in central London. Like this.
Yes.
There's pollution everywhere.
Yes.
Ask our nonnas, ask our tetas.
Yeah.
They'll tell you the truth.
This is the community aspect, I think, is a huge piece of those blue zones that you were speaking of. And how do we allow our medical system in the States, do you think? How do we get there?
Well, we have to completely collapse the old system and create a new system.
Well, again, that's
What do you think the time frame would look like on that?
I think it's
not in our
important
lifetime.
that you have medical doctors. I think it's absolutely important because, as Dr. Vali said, that we have to have the rules and laws and learn those, okay? So like if a patient comes in with a blood pressure of 200 over 120, you don't say, I have an herb to give you.
That's a medical emergency, yeah.
That's an emergency
Yeah.
that you can fix in the
Yes.
office. I do it
Yes.
all the time. But you don't say, here are herbs. You say, we need these medicine. I'm putting it underneath your tongue. You're going to sit here for an hour, and
take
I'm
care.
going to recheck your blood pressure.
And then stop eating
and
burgers from
well,
Mickey
no,
D's.
right. Well, then address all
The
the
American
underlying
breakfast.
causes, okay? But there's nothing wrong with the medical education, the first 2 years, which are the anatomy,
Yes,
physiology,
yes.
biochemistry, right? But it's the third year, you're going
Pharma.
out into the third year student is going out, and they're in a conventional medical system where it's drug, surgery, or both.
Yes.
And then when they go their fourth year, they're doing more of that, okay? Then they go into a residency program, and it's more drugs and surgery.
Or conditioning.
And the answer to all of it, if you have a gallbladder issue, it's not like, well, wait, how long has this been going on? And have you tried maybe, what are you eating? Are you eating fast foods and hamburgers and everything causing this gallbladder
Yeah.
problem? What are your food allergies? What is your digestion like? No, it's take out your gallbladder, take out your colon. I mean, the
So reactive.
oh yes, but it's destroying humanity. I see 20-year-olds. They just go, oh, your colitis, the medicine didn't work. We're going to take out your colon. We're going to take out your gallbladder. I mean,
Yeah.
every organ in your body you need.
But also, let's think back to medical school training for all of us. We were never trained to practice in this way. This is all new to all of us as well,
Yeah.
right? So if you look at the new generation of medical students at the moment, I feel bad for them because I know what journey I went through in terms of my training. I had to push doors down to learn about this industry. I had to experience things myself. I had to understand, and I literally had to bring in modalities that, as a medical student or as a doctor, as a consultant, I wasn't even thinking about. I used to label it as hufu.
Yeah.
And,
You're in survival mode
yeah,
at that moment.
you're in survival mode. And now you're like, okay, I wish there was a change at policy level in terms of medicine and medical school teaching, where you do empower the medical students when they do graduate as doctors to consider a more holistic approach, as well as if someone needs a cholecystectomy or gallbladder removal, consider that as well. And what can be done once your gallbladder is, this person we're talking about that lives on burgers all day long, right? What can you do afterwards once you remove
Yes,
the gallbladder?
exactly.
What can you take as anti-inflammatories that are natural?
Well, and you have to take bile salts. Once you
Yeah.
remove the
What
gallbladder,
modalities
you've got to
can you
take
use?
bile salts now.
Yeah.
So,
And
and,
how do
they
we-
don't tell them that.
Yeah, of course. I
Well,
want to bring it
There
back.
is good news, though, in America.
There is?
Yes. They have the first medical school that will have a garden and teach all of
Oh,
this.
wow.
So it's not open yet. It's in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be helping them.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's happening.
Is this the
Be-
beginning? This is
It's
the
the
beginning.
beginning. And
They-
because the demand is there, the patients are not happy. That's
Yeah.
all I hear every day. The patients, no matter what state, what country they come from, none of them are
The
happy.
patients are flying out to different countries, right?
Well, they have the same. They have this similar thing in England. It's called Hogwarts. Remember that? Hogwarts?
Harry Potter.
I got that one. I got
I
it.
don't read those books.
It's my generation. Will.
Man, wouldn't it be a beautiful thing if every doctor spent some of their days, their weekends in a garden and
Right.
be able to use some of their own garden in their work and really bring it back to some like ancient medicine, right? I mean,
And basics, things
Yeah.
that have been around for
and on
thousands
the
of years.
yeah, and on the contrary of that, AI being integrated into our lives, and how does that affect your work that you're doing?
I get asked about
know.
AI so much. Like nowadays, I get the AI question, and it's always there. The only way I'm going to answer it is, for me, the human body is the best AI that there is.
That's what I say.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say, because look at the way we're made. Look at the processes that go through our human body. Like, there is nothing better than what God
already
has
been
made.
created.
In
So
terms
what,
of
what
human
would
body.
you say to somebody who comes into your office and is like, Dr. Vali, I want this.
What
This is my.
what is the integration of AI into that question? Is he asking me? Is he asking ChatGPT for a consult?
Yeah,
Or,
well, that's the
or-
thing. I
Well,
think a
they
lot
do
of
do.
people
But-
do that.
They
I
put
think a
all
lot
their
of people do.
information
Yeah, I
in.
have no
Yes.
issue. We had that before WebMD.
Yeah.
We've been integrated. We've been insulated.
WebMD, I feel like was I
No,
don't know. I
but
feel
that's
like
the
everything
precursor.
was,
That's
you
the
know,
precursor to these things.
you're gonna die if you
But
have a cold.
I have no issue to have AI be a counsel of mine.
So
I
it's a
have no issue.
tool for
yeah,
you. Mm-hmm.
no problem. If anything, you should never be against technology. To move forward, you have to move backward, and to move backward, you have to move forward.
But where's the balance there of like relying on it? I feel like there's a lot of people, and for those listening, like maybe they've got a full Rolodeck of
Yeah.
ChatGPT answering questions for them.
If you think about it, we've only been exposed to it for the past 2 years. You know, we didn't have AI in COVID, or else the world would have
Really?
been different.
Really, a
So
year.
you know,
It's really
we
only
just
been-
started in the past 2 years to fully and remind you, whoever is listening to this conversation is privileged enough to have this access to this channel, and the rest of the world, we have other issues to fry, you know. And my biggest perspective, or my biggest fear or apprehension about AI is, later on we're going to find out what the motive is, who's controlling, what's happening, where's the data mining going, what is this for? This is just now a tool that's fun.
So doesn't that scare you?
No, because whatever is going to happen is going to happen. We've just ran through a lot of emotional distraught with what happened with our Palestinian brothers and sisters. So right now, whatever happened there is the biggest atrocity. So right now, whatever AI is going to happen, it's not going to be worse than what happened in Palestine.
I have put AI into my practice, so I have, because
Yeah,
I want
me
to
too.
replace me. So I'm like, I've got a software engineer in house.
I've cloned myself.
Yeah, so you've done your cloning.
Yeah, I have my
yeah.
hologram.
What do you mean? You have a hologram?
Yeah, because if they're going to ask a
A
AI,
question.
I'm going to be that person that they're going to
Heard.
ask. So
Wow,
yeah.
that's a really interesting
Yeah.
concept.
So
Right, but you do have the AI inside of you, number one. Number two, AI has an end goal. And so if you want veracity of information, you're not going to find like what is happening right now necessarily on a platform like ChatGPT or other
no.
platforms. And so you've got to look for the veracity of the information that you're looking for, because I know
it's
like
an
for-
exciting world. It's
yeah,
an
like for
exciting
example, if I look up something in America, all they do is give me the first
The
10
algorithms.
It's all the conventional. Nothing what I do, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it was there 5 years ago. Clearly there 5 years ago. Now
it's not there.
it's not there. And it's sad, because who loses is the patient who is at home, maybe can't afford certain things, and they're looking for information on how to enhance their self-care, and they can't, because there's only a drug or surgery or some
That's available to them.
available to them, and that is what is sad.
But it's such an exciting time we're going to live in. I mean, it's for the next, like they say, darshan, and everyone says, from their perspective, they were able to biohack whatever it is that they were able to biohack. Get yourself in the next, 2 to 5 years, pass through that stage, and you're probably going to unlock a whole potential of things. And I hope and as doctors who are on the innovative side of medicine, that we practice a lot of what we preach, we're going to do a lot of these things on us first.
Yep.
So whoever's listening,
We're the
I
guinea
think
pigs.
it's going to be ourselves that we guinea pig ourselves, me, you, and you. We're going to do that.
The guinea
And,
pigs.
yeah.
It's a little scary, from my opinion, not knowing what the motive is and who's kind of running it
Right.
behind the scenes. You mentioned that earlier.
Of course. But when we find out, it's going to be super exciting.
Is it?
Yeah.
I am a little bit worried about that. I don't know what the motive is behind AI. I think that it's great for, little small
mining. Little small
questions,
things.
but
Data mining.
when we, I mean,
Data
yes,
mining,
of
yes.
course, data
Whoever
mining.
has the
of
data
course.
controls the world.
Controls the
Of
world.
course.
I feel like we're going to
If
be
you
in
conform
movies.
to the world.
Right.
It's like a
If you
movie.
conform to the world too.
At this
Okay.
point, if whatever we're in this space, everything is monitored, everything is
Yeah.
controlled. Our purchases, your practices with me, even with my clinic, I know exactly how to predict that you're going to be a client of a certain biohacking perspective.
Yeah.
That I know exactly. So even in our integration in our clinics from AI, we know exactly how to predict how to tailor for you.
Yeah.
I didn't even need AI for that, but now there's a tool that helps me monetize, prioritize, and have a logistical perspective. So I'm very, very, I'm an optimist. So from my perspective, regardless what happens, I'm an optimist. Even though later on in life I'll find out that it's backstabbing me. So maybe it's learning to be a doctor, the AI. Maybe it's doing whatever. Maybe it's going to replace me.
Won't
But
replace
it's
your
okay.
hologram, though.
It's an early vacation for me if it happens. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving away from AI a little
Yes.
bit, I want to kind of ask you a very simple question, and I'll start with you,
The
Doctor.
simplest or the hardest? Yeah.
If you could define vitality, what would you say?
Vitality is feeling great and abundant energy, clarity of mind, and extreme physicality.
And how does that blend with your work that you do?
That's what I teach people
That's
how
what
to
you
do.
And
Every day.
And what would your answer be to that question?
Vitality.
Yes.
If you feel good, you do good. If you do good, you're going to be vital. And vitality in that perspective is reflecting what's inside, outside, and vice versa. And I'm a practitioner of vitality. We are all complementing each other in the space of medicine. And we're trying to make sure that you're as vital and as productive and energetic, and whether you're 2 years old or you're 90 years old. So on the spectrum of medicine, whether it's holistic or traditional or Western or Islamic or whatever it is, there's an element for all of us to come in and throw in the pot. Yeah.
Dr. Vali?
Me too. Okay.
Yes, of course.
There's a tagline that I use, look like a superstar. and perform like a legend. And the reason why I put it simply in that tagline is because I don't come on this side first. I come on this side. If I can make you perform like a legend, optimize your mood, your energy, your gut health, your fertility, your libido, you're going to be content. So vitality to me means contentment. And then on this side, making you look like a superstar is easy for us. We can do that in 10 minutes. So this is the key to unlock that contentment or vitality.
And how do we start? Like, how do we start to move towards that?
Go on my Instagram page, Dr. Adam, dr.adam. I'll help you do that. There's a nominal fee that you have to pay. No, but honestly, this it's as simple as making sure that you do small changes each day for a better life tomorrow. There's a lot of misnomer information in the world.
But there's also extreme. There's also taking it to the extreme.
Right.
So, for example,
A billion things.
Yeah, like, so I was at a dinner in Tuscany, and everyone, all the guests there, well, you know, they were biohacking by themselves, and they were talking about their microbiome index,
Yes.
and they're talking about, actually, my chronological age is this, but my telomere length is this,
Yes.
my internal health age is this. So there's a danger as well where you don't want to overanalyze and get that paralysis going. So for me, there needs to be a fine balance, and that's why I'm just like, dude, you only live once.
Right.
You literally live once. Go enjoy life. Let's get your mood back up. Let's get your energy back up. And then let's decide if you still want the outside.
And let's make it
Yeah.
very attainable for those listening. Like, what are 3 things that somebody could do today after listening to this podcast besides following you on Instagram?
And Dr. Val and Dr. everyone.
Yeah,
Yes.
first of all, I'm going to go back. So that is called orthorexia. Okay. Trying to be so correct and perfect every single second, and you're managing, you have your Oura ring and this thing and this monitor and that, and you're keeping track, like you said.
So exhausting, I
That
at
is
some point.
exhausting, and that's why people give up. Because the basics are really quite simple, okay? You have to, first of all, everyone needs to honor the rules and laws of the miracle they live in. That's the number one thing. So you got to learn them, okay? But everyone's mind has been hijacked of like
Yeah.
this, and like you can't even think for your own anymore, right? So we have to think, what sounds good? What I read, does it make sense? What feels good to my scientific intuition, okay? And if you get 10 books and they all kind of say the same things, like you need to sleep. Like most
to
people
sleep,
do
go
not
to
sleep.
sleep, go to
okay?
sleep.
Right. Most people do not sleep. Over 50% of the population doesn't sleep. You
And
have
sleep,
to,
and if they do sleep, they might not sleep
They're not
well
good.
right,
either.
exactly. But you've got to honor your circadian rhythm. So you've got to go to bed by 10 o'clock, give or take 30 minutes. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, I have this to do, that to do. No, you're always going to have something to do, okay?
Yeah.
Then you've got to drink water. You have to drink water. You don't drink too much or too little. And you've got to really, in this day and time, anywhere in the world, you've got to drink purified water. So if you can order, if you can just afford this much, then afford that much. But get purified water, because otherwise you're just drinking chemical and pharma water. Then you need to eat real food. Like, you cannot read foods that it takes a scientific degree to read the label, okay? So you need
If you
to
can't
eat,
spell
like,
it or-
I grew up on real food, okay? And I think in the Middle East, they're much better at that than I would say America
United States,
is.
yeah.
I've been able to get really healthy food here. Like, that makes me happy
Yeah.
because I'm able to get food that is going to nourish and strengthen and heal my body.
Yeah.
I'm so fortunate that I was able to grow up on a farm, and we had a garden, and my dad cooked home-cooked meals
Yeah.
every single day. However, on the contrary, my peers in my classes had the fruit roll-ups and the Rice Krispie treats,
Right.
and I really found myself to be a very active individual, and as a young child, and I really commend my parents for making sure that we always sat down for dinner. We always had that community aspect, and we ate real food.
Good.
It makes a huge difference in the long run, truly.
But isn't it, that's sitting with family and eating, like the social gathering. And in our culture, in the Western culture, it tends to be a Sunday lunch, Sunday roast, Sundays. But if you could do that every day with social connection, your dopamine overdrive
That's
will
one of
flat
your
in.
that's one of your longevity markers.
Yeah.
Connecting with your roots, connecting with your social perspective, having a community,
Right.
making sure you check in, and realizing that no matter what we do, and this is something that is a cross-generational perspective. No matter what we do, and no matter who is going to tell you whatever. You need to be able to do good. You need to, whatever you do good on the inside shines on the outside. Look at your neighbor, look at your people. We're on this panel, in this conference, in this convention, in this group of people. We come from extreme places of privilege. We're talking about how to prolong our life. I think we've lost track in medicine that we need to do good for our neighbors. We need to realize that medicine in its core is to help others. It's a noble perspective. This is a fringe of medicine to be able to do what we do in this life, and we're all fortunate enough to have this. But if we bottle it down and realize that it's something that we need to do for our neighbors, for our kin, for our brothers and sisters all over the world, and realize that also this podcast is in English, and the majority of our listeners in this region are not fluent in English. So at one point we have to cater for them if we want to pay it forward in this part of the world.
Of course.
You know, so that specific notion is very important to me, because I do practice here, I do practice in the States, and I realize that sometimes it's lost in translation, a lot of the things that we do.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you all for such
You're
a
welcome.
beautiful conversation. Again, the underlying tone is really like what we're doing on the inside
Yeah.
for us, building community, and that is how we have a better life in longevity and health. And thank you all so much
You're
for
welcome.
sitting down
It's a pleasure
and
being with
chatting.
you guys.
And
Beautiful ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.